Hi YouTube, welcome to this, which is my first ever video. I've watched many videos on YouTube, all the different reviews on various bits of kit, and I always find them really useful. So I thought it would be a good idea just to have a go at doing one of my own. Hopefully there'll be something new in here that you've not seen, or certainly it'll be a combination of things that you've already seen, but perhaps not all in one go. What we've got here, I'm sure you recognise it, is the Maxpedition Micro Organiser. So it's the smallest one of their pocket organisers. I've got all of them actually. I think I've certainly got most of the different sizes, and I've tried them all, and I do use them for different things. What I thought I'd do today is show you this kit. With this kit really is, I know it's we call them an EDC, everyday carry kit, but I can honestly say I don't carry it every day. What I do tend to use this for is if I do go out, if I'm going out to do some photography, I'll sling it in my camera bag because it's got bits and bobs in that I think I would need. Occasionally going to from work, I'll stick it in my work bag. If I'm going visiting or if I'm going out for the day, it'll go with me in whatever backpack, or even if it just goes in the car, because sometimes there's just little things in here that you might need, and it saves you going out and either going and buying them, or you might be not available for where you are. So I'm not going to go into the specs of the bag. There's many people doing the reviews of these. They'll give you all the full specs. Needless to say, it's Maxpedition. It's very well made, very tough, and it's great for what it's designed for. So first of all, in the front, I always have a couple of wet ones. So these are just the individual ones. I mean, you can get packets of 10 and things, but these I find are a very useful size. So I have a couple of those. Obvious reasons, they come in handy if you get dirty hands, or if you use a public toilet and you want to anti-bac your hands afterwards. You can use the gel and things, but again, this does the same thing. So multi-use really, just general cleaning of your hands and things. Also in the front here, my eyesight isn't the best, and I've usually got reading glasses with me, and I've got a magnifier on my phone and all those sorts of things, but this is a handy little sheet. It sits in the front. I'm sure you've seen them, and it magnifies. You can use it to start a fire as well, but it's unlikely that I would ever need to do that. Really, it's just in case I get caught anywhere and I haven't got my reading glasses, or I break them and I need to read a menu or read the small print on something. I've got something to do that with. So that lives in the front there. Just a normal tissue. Again, blowing my nose, wiping my hands, whatever you need to do. Also in the front here, I've got just a couple of small zip ties. You never know when that'll come in handy, and a tiny little button compass. I bought a little bag of these years ago, so anything and everything I pick up tends to have a small button compass in it. You never know, someone might ask me which way north is, but anyway, moving on to the inside. There we have it. Right, what we'll do is I'll start on the left hand side. So on the left hand side here, I've got a super glue pen. It's about half full at the moment because it gets used quite a lot. And the other good thing about these organisers is I always know where this glue stick is. Rather than rummaging through a drawer somewhere, I know for a fact that it'll be in here. I can find it and use it. This is just one of those little Velcro tie things for tidying up cables. I'll just put it around the pen there. You never know if I'm using a charging cable, or I need to fasten something to a bag or something. It's just handy, and it weighs nothing, so it's just handy to keep in there. Fisher Space Pen. I'm sure it needs no introduction. They're great. They'll work anywhere. They'll right in the rain. They're right upside down. They're right if it's cold. And again, that just lives in there. That's a given. This is just a small pry bar with some paracord, so I've got a length of paracord if I need it to replace a shoelace or something. But the little pry bar is really handy, really, for the obvious things, prying out nails, opening tins of paint, those sorts of things. I've used it a couple of times out walking with the dog, where I've you know, I've come across a nail or a sharp bit of wire on a fence or something, which I don't want my dog to get hurt himself on, or anyone else's dog, to be honest. So it's handy just to use that just to remove things like that. And again, it's very lightweight, and could come in handy. A couple of paper clips, all sorts of reasons, all sorts of uses, you know, apart from the obvious clipping paper together, but you can use it to get your SIM card out your phone and bend it around to I don't know, get a thorn out your finger, whatever, you know, whatever you might need to use it for. Little pencil from IKEA lovers, I'm sure. Lightning cable for charging my phone. There's no form of charging in here, but you know, if I go visiting somewhere and they're from the dark side and using Android, they might not have an Apple charger, but they certainly have a USB plug socket of some sort. Or even you know, nowadays on buses and trains and things, you get the charging sockets. So it's good to have just a cable. So if I do need to charge my phone, I can. In the back here, I haven't got a whole pad. I don't see the need to carry a whole pad, so I've just got half a dozen sheets or so of Write in the Rain paper, handy for making notes, or if you need to leave a message for someone, give someone your phone number. I know everyone's got smartphones nowadays, but sometimes it's nice just to write things down. A couple of pieces of card, not sure why, but you never know what you can use those for. In the back here, we've got a pack of matches. These are actually from a British Army ration pack, so they'll light in the rain and they burn for a long time to start a fire or whatever you need to do. Very unlikely that I would need to do that with this kit. You know, I do go wild camping, but I take the proper equipment for that. I don't necessarily rely on this for any sort of survival purpose. But it's, you know, it's handy to have some matches. Someone might ask me for a light. You know, you never know. In the back here, a spare AAA battery for the torch, which we'll go on to in a minute. The main beast in here is the Victorinox, so it's a Swiss Army knife. It's a Swiss Champ. It's a great knife. It's got everything on it you want, and it's perfect to carry in a kit like this because, you know, I've got a corkscrew. I've got the tiny screwdriver for glasses. There's a little pin in there. I've got a toothpick. I've got tweezers. I've got separate tweezers actually, but there's tweezers on there. There's the obvious main blade, Phillips screwdriver, and some small pliers which have come in handy here and there. Obviously it's not to Leatherman standard, but you know, if you need to tighten a little nut or bolt up, it'll do the job. Scissors, again, I think scissors are the most useful item on any sort of multi-tool. Yeah, so it's a great bit of kit. I got bought this for Christmas actually from my lovely family, so thank you for that. And you know, it's nice to carry it and nice to use it. Over here on this clip, I've got a few bits and bobs on here. Right, so I've got a Crocodile Clip there, just a small one, clipped around the inner keeper thing. I've got a small torch, which is the Through Night TI3. Great little mini torch. You know, I've got a torch on my phone, and if I'm taking the dog for a walk at night, I'll take a proper torch with me. But just to having a little kit, it's a great little torch. 3 different settings, and the brightest is really bright, which is great. I've got a small USB drive. It's a 16 gigabyte. There's nothing on it at the moment, but it's handy if anyone needs to give me some information. You know, if I'm visiting relatives and they've got a lot of photographs I want to get off them. I know we can use the things in the cloud and Dropbox and all that sort of thing, but it's nice sometimes just to quickly get that sort of information from people. So it's just handy, and it weighs nothing, so it's one of those things that you might need to use one day. Got a small whistle. Again, unlikely I would need to use a whistle, but you never know. If I got stuck on a train, or I don't know, in a smoky building, I could need a whistle. And this is just a little nice one that was made. I got this from one of the forums I'm a member of, and it's a 5.56 bullet. Uncle Bill tweezers. I'm sure you'll all have seen these before. Very useful, very good at what they do. And this is a Victorinox nail clippers. I don't bite my nails, so I have to clip them, and it's nice to have a proper set of clippers. These do get mixed reviews, and I think much like any of these sorts of things, some work, some don't. This particular set worked really well. I'm really pleased with them. They all just sit on a little clip on there, just so whenever I open the pack I don't lose everything, so I can take anything off if I need to. In the back here I've got a pouch, a little bag, a little waterproof bag. So there's a cotton pad, there's some plasters, there's a small sewing kit, there's a surgical blade, there's some antiseptic wipes, a couple of cotton buds, a toothpick with a bit of dental floss on the end there, just for cleaning my teeth, and an old card with some gaffer tape, duct tape, whatever you want to call it, wrapped around that. It's probably about 3 or 4 feet of it, not too much. Also a little marker fibre cloth I've got in there, because I do use cameras and I've got a nice smartphone, so it's nice to have a nice sterile scratch proof cloth with me, just in case I need to clean my lens or something. But that there's just in the back of there. And finally we have just a little bag of medication. So there's some medication that I'm on. Then there's some ibuprofen painkillers, some paracetamol, some Rene, Imodium. That's probably about it in there. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, there's I'll keep a safety pin clipped on the middle of there. You never know when you need to use a safety pin. Also an extra cable tie, which there was a gap in the stitching here, so I've just fed that and it goes round the outside. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. Like I say, I don't think there's anything groundbreaking in there. There's certainly it's all the sort of stuff that I've already seen it on videos and put it together. Obviously these kits are personal to us, and you put in there what you think you might want, or the things you need and use daily. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, please let me know. And like I say, it's my first video, so some feedback will be nice. Be kind. Take care. Thanks. Bye bye.